Good morning, guys. It's Lori from Passionate Penny Pincher, and we are doing a freezer cooking class. If you have never freezer cooked before, this is going to change your life. It's going to change the way you spend money. We're going to start the first thing we're using is our freezer cooking menu box. I'm going to walk around with my very first thing and just show you the last thing I do before I set up. I put my baby cards for each recipe. So we're going to make the pesto tortellini bake, some lemon pesto chicken tenders, some grandma's beef brisket, quick and easy lasagna. We're gonna do Brunswick chicken stew casserole, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. And then we've got stuff to make a Eclair cake over there. And then I'm gonna go over here and there's quick and easy lasagnas over here. So who is ready? Tell me if you have ever freezer cooked before. Tell me if you've tried any of our menu planning boxes and if you like them. I'm gonna show you probably my family's absolute favorite recipe first. This is the pesto chicken tortellini. It's so simple, y'all. These recipes in this box are amazing. Click the link in the video if you want the box while we have them in stock. They are so good. Okay, you're gonna need a pound of cheese tortellini, 2 jars of Alfredo sauce. You just dump them in, y'all. It doesn't get any easier than that. Now, because y'all know, actually, they've got plenty of sauce. You could rinse out your bowl with a little bit of water if you want to make it super Alfredo-y, but that's plenty for us. Then you're going to add in 2 cloves of garlic, a half a cup of prepared pesto, and one gift that I give to myself as I'm doing this is I take things directly to the sink and the dishwasher if I can. So you're gonna see me moving around. You may not be able to see it, but in the background, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna grab a spoon as well because I need to stir it all up. So I've got my pesto. Now I'm gonna add in some chicken. The chicken is optional. You don't have to do it, but I'm doing that. Then we're gonna also add in mozzarella cheese. And this is 1 cup. And that's it, y'all. Now, because we only have 3 of us at home, we do not need a massive size of this thing because honestly, if we had a big container, my family would eat it all and it would be more than we truly needed to eat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split this one into 2 containers to make it super easy. I'll have one for us and then one to give away. We've got some family that we sometimes send food to. I send it to my kids all the time. So I never, ever, ever, if I have an opportunity to split a recipe into something so that it won't have leftovers. My husband is not the biggest fan of leftovers. So your kids and family, do they eat leftovers? My husband's just not into it. So I can't bear to see food go to waste. But when I can make it into portion sizes that only work for a night, it just seems like we have less waste in our house. So I'm all for less waste. And especially with food prices being what they are, y'all, it's probably real shadowy for you guys, isn't it? I'm so sorry. Also, I got to figure out how to get this lighting in here so that you can see and it not be so shadowy. Hang on, let me try this. Is that better? That's probably a little better. Figuring out this lighting, I'm telling you what, I used to have my kitchen right next to windows. I don't have that anymore, and it has been so hard to figure out how to handle the lighting situation. Okay, so we absolutely love this one, so I'm gonna make it tonight for dinner. Reagan was so excited when I told her this morning that this was happening for dinner along with the Eclair cake. She was like, yay, those are my favorites. So I'm making one for us tonight, and then one to send to my college kids whenever they come home. So yesterday, Caroline went out. She headed to school yesterday, and she ran through the freezer and did a quick rummaging so she could have meals. They both cook for themselves in college. So obviously having these ready for them just makes life a little bit simpler. So there's that one done. I'm telling you what, if you have not tried freezer cooking, it really is. It can be just a game changer. It's amazing. So I need to find my foil, which I thought I had out here, but now I'm not. There it is. The last thing you're gonna do is add some Parmesan on top, and I'm gonna try to get your questions. Yay, you do freezer cooking, but you also will regularly cook double and portion half as well. It's so smart. Like, I don't know why I haven't done this my whole life. As I look back, I regret that I didn't do it as often as I possibly could have, because looking back when my kids were little, this would have changed my life, but I just didn't think, it always sounded hard to me. So the ones that we do are easier, and then just once you do it, it becomes a little simpler. So now I'm just gonna stick some foil on these guys, and we'll have 2 meals done. I'm not sure how many, I tried to split quite a few of these up, so we'll see how many we end up with total today. This is for dinner tonight. This is for probably Jackson to take home. He was cute. This is his first time. He's 22, and this is his first time totally cooking on his own. And it has been funny to see him figure this out. He was really cute about it the other day. He was like, what else can I take home with me, Mom? So he took a bunch home. Okay, there's number 1. The next recipe we're gonna do, y'all see we've got more. I want you to see what it looks like set up. There's our setup. Can y'all, is that better if you look at it that way? That might be a little better. Then you can see a little farther. Okay, lemon pesto chicken tenders. This one is so simple, like easiest recipe of all time. 2 pounds boneless, skinless chicken tenders. Half a cup of pesto. 3 teaspoons of lemon juice. Done. That is all there is to that one, you guys. They are so yummy because what you do is when you make, well, give them a good squish around. Here's my good squish. Once you make them, you bake them in the oven. But here's the trick on packing these guys. You want to pack these along with about a half a cup of mozzarella. Let me see if that's right. I'm totally guessing that, but I've made it so many times. Half a cup of mozzarella. These are one of my family's favorites. I'm going to dump everything right in here. Easy, done. 3 recipes done. Then with the baby cards. How many of y'all have the baby cards? If you have the baby cards, when you order the Passionate Penny Pincher freezer meal boxes, they come with these guys, or you can order extras of them. Here's the trick. As you're sticking it in, I just did it wrong. Go ahead and put it with this side out. That way, when it's time to cook on cooking day, you just stick this in. You can read the directions, and you know what you've got. You're not digging through, having to find the recipe guide. It's all right there for you, easy in a bag. Okay, 3 meals done. Now we're gonna move on to these are where I'm gonna be tweaking some, y'all. Bear with me here. So this is Grandma's beef brisket. How many of y'all have gone looking for beef brisket costs right now? They are crazy. The cost of brisket is ridiculous. So what we did was we've got a chuck roast, and I started thinking it through. Honestly, I cook in my crock pot more often than I cook in my oven. And so rather than making this, the way that it's called for is you actually bake it. Hang on, I gotta go grab a teaspoon. You bake it in the oven. But I am just gonna throw it into a freezer bag. It's gonna have the seasonings on it, and I'm gonna cook it as a roast. That's the one thing I really want to encourage you in, and that's what we're going to talk about a lot about today. It is so easy to, if you are new to cooking and you buy our menu plans, do everything just as it said. Like, I promise the recipes will all be yummy if you just trust what we tell you to do and go for it. However, let me see how much pepper I need. Half teaspoon. This is half a tablespoon, so I'm going to do a little bit less on each of these. I'll finish making the recipe, then I'll tell you the rest of my story. Okay, half a teaspoon. So you've got your roast, half a teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of celery salt, and I am just really just guesstimating. A teaspoon of garlic salt. We were supposed to have a teaspoon of onion salt, but it was out, so I'm gonna do a little extra garlic salt, and then your liquid smoke. Now, this is totally different than what the recipe really says to do on this one, because I've been making this recipe forever. So if you see a recipe and you're like, you know what, for our family, we don't often make a brisket in the oven, or brisket's too expensive, tweak it. Don't feel like you have to make it exactly the way that it says. All you're doing is getting these. I use my menu plans as a guideline, and then the more I feel comfortable cooking and the more I feel like I can change things, I do. We're gonna make a big change here on the Brunswick chicken stew casserole. I'm gonna do that one last because I'm afraid y'all are gonna be like Laurie. And I know most people will not stick it out to the end, so no one will know. So I'm gonna wait on that one. We'll pop this one in the crock pot when it's time. 4 meals done right there. So easy. Do y'all change things out? How can you get the recipes? Listen, if you will click the link, there should be a video. We'll put a link in the video for our freezer box. You want these freezer menu plans. They're fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna cheat and do dessert next because my poor food has been waiting out for this for way too long. This is the Eclair cake, and it actually freezes beautifully. Now, it makes 1 pan, but because we don't need to all eat, personally at our house, this much, with 3 of us, we would devour this sucker. Hang on, I gotta go. It's got some frosting that I've got in the microwave, so let me go start that off because it's gotta warm up just a bit. Oh, well, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna I've got a jar of frosting. I'm gonna warm up in there for 30 seconds. I'm gonna mix together 3 cups of milk, Okay, 3 cups of milk, an 8-ounce container of Cool Whip. This is like my son's favorite ever recipe, so this is another one I could easily send home. We keep the one with us and then we'll send him the other one. This is just such a simple recipe, but we tried it in the freezer for the first time and I wasn't sure if it would work, and I would say it's almost even better. So you can totally freeze this one ahead to give to someone, whatever else you want to do with it. Then you need 2 packages, 2 of the big packages of vanilla pudding. So the big instant vanilla puddings, you want 2 of those guys. I need to look and see. Can y'all still see pretty well what I'm doing here? Okay, y'all can see. Hit the share this button and we will enter you to win a $25 Amazon gift card. And I'd love to hear, we've been doing our home planner challenge this week. I hope it has been helpful for you guys. I know for me, it has felt so lovely to kind of catch back up on my home, and I hope it's felt like that for you guys as well. Okay, we're gonna mix this up really well. In a large bowl, you're gonna mix together your vanilla pudding, whipped topping, and 3 cups of milk. Then we're gonna use graham crackers, and I'm hoping I have enough graham crackers for this. If you have not made this one yet, it is like such a good recipe. You will not be disappointed with this one. Okay, there's that. Now what we're gonna do is, I kind of started on these guys. I had some leftover graham crackers that I didn't want to go to waste. So rather than, these were like all extra odds and ends. So we're not gonna let those guys go to waste, but we're gonna basically set down enough graham crackers to cover the bottom. Can y'all see this very well? I hate when you can't see everything. It is hard to be the videographer and the cook at the same time, because sometimes I'm like, you can't see half of what we're doing. So I apologize. I'm doing the best I can over here. I need some more little graham. I'm not gonna waste any spots of graham crackers. There we go. Can I get one more in, guys? I think I can. Now I'm just gonna take this and pour 1 layer of this here. Have y'all made this? Has anybody made this one before? And have you frozen it and seen how good it was? The last time we did this on live, I froze it and I wasn't sure if it would work or not. I was like, well, let me try it and then we'll know for sure. And then, let me grab a towel. Then when I did it, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. So if you have not frozen this one before, it will totally work that way. And it's a little easier when you get to the right number of graham crackers. I love the graham crackers in it because it gives you just a really yummy flavor. So I try to add those all in. And then we're gonna do 1 more layer of these guys, and that is gonna be in your way, so it's gonna be hard to see. So make sure you fill these up really well this time. Oh, y'all, this is my favorite. Reagan was so cute last night. She saw the ingredients for it in the fridge, and she got all excited. She was like, oh, I'm excited. Pesto tortellini and Eclair cake. We don't, as with our older kids being gone, we try to just cook a little bit lighter for the 3 of us, because James and I don't need all the heavy foods, and there's just so much food temptation out in the world. So I try to I don't cook quite as heavy as I did when my older kids were home. And so Reagan, whenever we have a big meal, a heartier meal like this, she's super excited. I'm always trying to watch what I eat. So we're pretty cautious around here, but this is one that is a come home for dinner kind of meal. Okay, we're gonna do 1 more set of graham crackers. And I love when she's excited about dinner, because it's hard with you guys. How many of you guys have 1 or 2 kids left at home? And if you have just a single kids, is that easy for you guys? Because it has been a challenge. It's just an adjustment to what we're used to. Okay, I'm gonna go. Last thing I'm gonna do is grab this guy out. This is just a thing of tub of frosting. Y'all see that? And I'm just gonna take this right here, kind of pour it over top. So good. I mean, so good. I heat it up for about 30 seconds. My can needs to be the other way. Hang on. You don't want to miss any of, I like the chocolate the most, so y'all know I'm not gonna miss any chocolate in here. Oh, so good, so good. This is why I go to the gym in the morning. These, so good. And then we'll just put freezer things on top of these guys. I'm gonna probably let this one sit, and I'm gonna let both of them sit in the fridge first, because otherwise I'll have a mess of frosting stuck to the lid. So you can actually flash freeze this if you want. This smaller one I may flash freeze just so that chocolate hardens up and doesn't become a mess attached to the top of the plastic. So to flash freeze, all flash freezing really does that I've seen, I don't know, like I'm not an official flash freezer person, but from what I can tell, flash freezing keeps things from sticking. So like if you put a bunch of chicken into a bag and you didn't flash freeze it, it would all stick together. So if you can flash freeze this by popping it in the freezer for a few minutes, it's just not gonna stick to the stuff on top of it. So then I can add plastic to it once it's already frozen. So there's a quick tip for you if I have room in my freezer, which I'm not sure that I do. So I am just gonna move this one there. Okay, we've got 2 more recipes to go, guys. We are gonna do the quick and easy lasagna. Has anybody made the quick and easy lasagna yet? I want y'all to see, this is what I wish you could have a better view so you could see everything really well. It's hard to let you see the food and also let you see the space at the same time, but that's how messy. It does get kind of messy, so if you've never done it before, it's okay. Make sure my biggest tip is to make sure you take your trash out before you start freezer cooking and make sure your dishes are done, because otherwise you will drive yourself crazy. Okay, last thing, we're doing 2 more. Quick and easy lasagna. I'm gonna make this into 2 meals because again, and actually this recipe is made to go into 2. So it's gonna make 2 8x8 pans. You wanna put just a little bit of your sauce down the bottom. The sauce is a pound of ground beef, a pound of ground sausage, a jar of spaghetti sauce, a small can of tomato sauce, some parsley flakes, and some Italian seasonings. So that's what you're gonna start with here. Then you're gonna add, let me make sure y'all can see this really well. Can you see? Okay, then we're gonna take our spaghetti noodles. And the biggest trick I can tell you on the spaghetti noodles is you really wanna make sure, because we're not gonna pre-bake cook these. Since we're not pre-cooking these, you wanna make sure to cover them completely in the sauce. So we're gonna mix together now. We've got 16 ounces of ricotta cheese. I'm gonna add in a 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan, and I'm gonna add in a 1/2 teaspoon of dried parsley flakes. Do most of y'all use egg? Most of you guys use egg in your lasagna. This one does not call for egg. I don't use it in this one. You probably could. I can't think of any reason it wouldn't work fine in the freezer. But you're just gonna mix this around together. You can also use cottage cheese if it's less expensive than ricotta. I really like the flavor of ricotta if I'm picking, but either are a great option. Let me just make sure I've got this right. Okay, so we've got sauce, noodles, sauce, and then cheese. Okay. I gotta remember always which way to do it. So make sure because you're not cooking your pasta noodles ahead, you definitely want to make sure these guys are totally covered up in sauce so that you don't end up with really crispy noodles. That will just help your noodles to cook as long as they're totally covered. So make sure to do that. I hate when my hand is in the way so you can't see it. I'm hoping y'all can see things. If you've never tried freezer cooking, I cannot sing the praises of it enough. Especially, we were talking on the team the other day about the prices of eggs. Prices on groceries and eating out have just kind of gotten out of control. I'm gonna bring y'all closer to this. So if you can, when you make your stuff at home and you monitor your costs, what I do is I try to use up what I have in my house first so that I don't waste time and money on extra things that we don't need. So as much as you can, when you eat at home, you will spend less money. However, with prices being what they are, watch your sales ads. That's the best thing I can tell you right now is watch your sales ads like crazy. Like if you see a sale on chicken, I think last week I heard Publix had BOGO chicken, boneless skinless chicken breasts. Y'all, when you see those kinds of deals, stock up on them. Also, as you're making this, you want to make sure to go ahead and I like to use the biggest amount of ricotta on the first batch so I know that everything has a good layer of cheese, and then I'll be a little skinnier on my next batch. Okay, next thing, another layer of noodles. And then we're gonna do, I feel like I need to do this and then the sauce. I'm gonna do it this way this time because this just in my head seems to be right. To do the sauce and then, no, that probably should have been the sauce first. It's not gonna matter a ton either way. Top each pan with dollops of cheese and sprinkle over. Okay. You just want to get some more ricotta throughout this one. You don't want to waste anything. I want to see your comments. I hate when I'm talking so much and I'm cooking, so I can't really see what you're saying, but I will hop on in just a second and check them out for sure. If you want our freezer menu planning box, it has 12 weeks of the best freezer meals. They are probably, of all of our menu boxes, probably my family's favorites. So I definitely recommend them. If you're on the fence, it would be a great way to try them out. I have a lot of spaghetti sauce left. So my thought was today, if I had way too much extra, I'm just gonna save this spaghetti sauce. I feel like I need to have something on top. I'm gonna save the extra spaghetti sauce. You know what? I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I know what I'm doing here. If you feel like you have way too many extra noodles, you could totally make a small pan as well. So I did think about doing that with this one, but now I'm feeling like I need noodles on top, y'all. I need to read these directions really quickly. I'm gonna pull up the card so you and I can read them together and see what I need to do with this, because I feel like I need one more set of noodles on here. Okay, y'all, help me out here. Okay, spread a bit of sauce on the bottom of each pan. Top with a layer of 2 to 3 noodles. Spoon 3/4 cup of sauce over the noodles. Top each pan with a dollop of cheese and sprinkle with mozzarella. Repeat. So cheese and then mozzarella. I probably should have done it that way. I think it's gonna be okay. I feel like the sauce, do y'all feel like I need it? I feel like I need another layer of something. Just sprinkle with the mozzarella. Thank you, Sue. Sue is like Sue, you always show up when I need you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sue. I feel like it's gonna be messy, I think is the problem. So I'm gonna go ahead. If you're saying I'm gonna do one more, you know what I'm gonna do? I will tell y'all, I don't like lasagna. My family loves lasagna. I am not a lasagna eater. So every time I go to make it, I'm like, this is just maybe not my favorite one. I like this recipe. I like lasagna fine, but I'm not gonna eat I'm not a big ground beef person. I've never liked ground beef a ton. I would way pick chicken every single night of the week. If I could have chicken or salmon, that's just what I personally like. And so every time I go to make a lasagna, I'm like, I think I have a brain freeze about it. So I'm glad y'all are here to help me out for sure. You can place parchment to cover the entire bottom and sides of the pan to freeze solid. Okay, I'm gonna have to read that tip once I'm not trying to do video because that sounded like a good one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and make 2 of these guys. And you would think, y'all, as much as I do this, you would think that I would remember things, but I'm telling you what, if I can make this much yummy food, my family says all the time, they're like, you are such a good cook. And the truth is, it is because of these menu plans. Like, the food is just so good and they're so easy that even if you're a little bit a novice cook, which I still feel like a novice cook most days, you can do so much. The more I've gotten creative though, the less I've freaked out over doing things perfectly. Okay, here we go. So these guys are done. This is such a good one to send to college kids. I can't recommend these enough for like sending, if you've got college kids, if you've got maybe a family member who's elderly and needs a meal. These are just, think about, you're taking away all of the stress of coming up with what to make, the prep, all of that, so that they just have it done. Okay, so there's 2 more. So we've got, come here and I'll show y'all how many we have. So far, we have 1, 2 lasagnas, 3, 4. We've got the pesto tortellinis, 4 of those, 5, 6, and and then we've got the eclair cake. And now I'm going to tell y'all about this one. Shri, I hope you're not watching me right now. Shri may kick me. Shri, you can't quit on me because I say this. Y'all, I don't like lima beans. The Barneswick chicken stew casserole, it calls for lima beans. I have made it probably since we started the freezer meals. And I always make it, and I put it in my freezer, and I eventually find someone to give it to. But I'm not super excited about this one. So this morning I was like, this is dumb. Why are you making something that your family doesn't love? And this is, well, my family would love it. In fact, James loves the mixed vegetable part and he loves the lima beans. So here's what I'm doing instead. Okay. All the ingredients that it calls for, I already had. So it's boneless, skinless chicken breast, zesty salad Italian seasoning pack, barbecue sauce, gumbo mix, which James will love, lima beans, James is gonna love those. All the things that are left are things that we will eat all the time. I am changing the recipe though. And all I'm doing is I'm adding the barbecue sauce and the chicken in. I'm gonna add a little bit of brown sugar. And I'm just gonna turn this into shredded crock pot barbecue chicken, which for me is something that I will like better. And so do not feel, y'all, I'm gonna add in a little bit of garlic salt as well, just because it's here. And I'm not gonna add celery salt. Okay, so if you have a recipe on here that you're like, you know what? That's not my favorite. It is okay to not make it exactly as it says to make it. And what's nice is you're gonna have the basic groceries to make other things. Like my lima beans that are in the fridge, in the freezer, and my mixed vegetables will absolutely be perfect for us when we need an extra vegetable. So you're not wasting anything. You're just, in the hash browns, same thing with the hash browns. We can always use hash browns around here for hash brown casserole. So if you ever feel like one of our recipes isn't for you, adjust the recipes. This gives you a good basis of proteins and starches and vegetables, and then you can make it and adjust it to you. So let me check real fast through your comments. You made a tater tot casserole, have leftovers today, then freeze the rest for your son. I love that. You couldn't find gumbo mix. Oh, Sarah, if you were at my house, I would give you mine. But I'm actually going to use it. I will use it in something else. It's just not my thing. Remember, y'all, next week is the freezer clean out challenge. Can y'all see that this mama needs to clean out her freezer? Something awful. Gumbo mix looks like, I'm guessing, I think I have it. Hang on. There's the hash. Here we go. This is it. Right there. There's the gumbo mix. So like I said, the other recipes included in this are these guys. So I will totally use those for other recipes. Like I'll use those on other days, but hopefully that will help. You couldn't find lima beans? Shelly, I can't do the lima beans. I hate it. My husband loves them. He is gonna be so happy on lima bean night. I just can't. And I decided as I was working through them this weekend, this morning I was looking at that recipe and I was like, I don't wanna make it. And so I didn't. So I did though learn that I could freeze these Thai chicken noodle soup. So this is Thai chicken noodle soup that I've frozen into little cubes. We'll have to do a whole video about those guys because they're really fun. Okay, let me read through your comments really fast. Yes, I was supposed to put freezer foil on plastic wrap and then foil. Let me tell you why I didn't do that. Dana said I was supposed to put plastic wrap and then foil so no freezer burn. The one thing I found that if I use a double layer foil, I've never had freezer burn. And the problem is I'm afraid of sending a recipe with my kids and them not remembering to take that extra thing of plastic off. So that is why I tend to do that for sure. You change every recipe you make. I love that, Erica. So I'm not the only one. If you can if you're cooking for you and you will remember to take off the cling wrap, do the cling wrap. But for my sweet children, I would end up with melted plastic everywhere. Time out, where do you find the gumbo mix? We got this gumbo mix. Publix carries it, Kroger carries it. It's easier to find in the South for sure. I know, look at my poor bananas, I know. Your freezers are packed, you don't have a Kroger in Kansas City, so you bought mixed veg. That may be what you have to do. You totally understand the lima beans, great idea on the freezer. Okay, so I think we got through everything, y'all. My kitchen's a disaster. I'll probably hop in the supper club for anybody's there and clean with you guys and answer any questions. Y'all have an amazing day. Make something yummy for dinner tonight. I am cheering for you. Click the link in the video if you would like our freezer menu plans. They're fantastic. You won't be disappointed. Probably the only single meal in the whole thing that I don't like is that Brunswick chicken stew casserole. And I've heard people, where is it at? I've heard people rave about it. So I think I'm the only one, but lots of people love them. Not my favorite. Anyways, y'all have an amazing day and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.